कॉम्प्लेक्स बातें नहीं समझ में आती कैसे होगा। हमें पता है कि मेरे आका सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया कि आखिरी दौर में खिलाफत अला मिराज नबुव्वह कायम हो जाएगी। कैसे होगी मेरा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, मेरे आका ने फरमाया होगी होगी। उन्होंने फरमाया ग़ज़वा-ए-हिंद होगा, मुसलमान हिंदुस्तान के बादशाहों को जंजीरों में जकड़ कर लाएंगे। कैसे होगा ये अल्लाह दिखा देगा।
Namaste मेरे दोस्तों, hope all is well. Today we are going to talk about Ghazwa-E-Hind. I did not know much about this. I heard this word just today. But when I saw what it was about and did more research, I got completely shocked. Which is why I had to make a video on it. I know that some of you know about all of this. But those who don't, let's take a look on exactly what it is about.
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I showed you how a dangerous plot to break down India and its secular fabric by 2047 was being planned, propagated, and conspired towards. The crackdown has only unearthed a larger web of radicalization, of violence, and an agenda of quote-unquote direct jihad. Can you believe it, viewers? Direct jihad, they are saying. So I'm saying tonight to you, there is no scope anymore. None of us, nobody in this country, whatever your political belief, whether you are pro-BJP, anti-BJP, does not matter. You do not have a scope to live in denial anymore. Because what is happening in Patna and what is being found out in Patna is not limited to one state. Foreign-funded, dangerous, anti-national radicalization is now a reality in India. Can there be a cover for it anymore? Take a look at the crackdown in Bihar and then, ladies and gentlemen, without taking sides, let's debate.
After multiple arrests in a terror module crackdown, after the India 2047 plot to make India an Islamist nation was uncovered,
कॉम्प्लेट्स मिले हैं, बुकलेट्स मिले हैं, और सबसे खराब बात जो मिली है कि 2047 में भारत को इस्लामी राष्ट्र बनाने के लिए दूसरे संप्रदाय के अगेंस्ट विद्वेष पैदा करना।
They were fresh raids by the Patna police, and the findings are shocking.
The Patna police conducted raids at 3 different places in entire Bihar, 2 locations in Patna, 1 in Motihari, 1 in Muzaffarpur. The Patna police today recovered large number of dossiers, booklets, Urdu literature, as well as membership form along with photographs of the members who are enrolled as part of the HDPI.
Fresh arrests were made. The Patna police has emphasized on Pakistani links.
जो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात यह है कि जो पहला व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप है जिसके लगभग 181 सदस्य हैं, वो एक पाकिस्तानी नंबर जिसका हैंडल फैजान है, पाकिस्तानी नंबर के द्वारा उसको क्रिएट किया गया था ऐप्स के माध्यम से। और उसके बाद जो ताहिर है दानिश, इसको उसका ग्रुप एडमिन बनाया गया था। और उसमें जो सदस्य हैं वो इंडिया के अलावा पाकिस्तान, यमन और अन्य गल्फ की कंट्रीज के भी उसमें सदस्यों को जोड़ा गया था।
The Patna police also recovered a chat from his mobile which stated a deep-seated radicalized agenda. Look at his chats which says that कोई फायदा नहीं है AIM को सपोर्ट करने की. And he states that there will be a jihad. अब डायरेक्ट जिहाद करेंगे 2023 में.
The reality of radicalization cannot be dismissed. The garb of legitimacy cannot be attributed. It's time for a full crackdown. Let's debate.
Based on the argument that there is a hadith, which in my opinion is of relatively weak significance, but I'm taking off my hat of a theologian since I never completed my religious training. But anyway, they use that there is a hadith that the people from Khorasan will come and save the people of the Levant or whatever, and so that was used, and that was used again. And that has been part of the Al-Qaeda thing. And then the other part is this famous Ghazwa-E-Hind, which is the Pakistani groups use it. Ghazwa is actually just as jihad is the war, a holy war or war for religious purposes. Ghazwa is a battle, and there's ostensibly is saying of Prophet Muhammad that that before the end time, biggest war between good and evil and between Islam and Kufr is going to take place in Hind, which is India, which is the land east of the river Indus. Takes care of of what is today Afghanistan and some parts of Central Asia, and all of that it means a lot to people who believe in it. These end time prophecies, etc. And so one of the unwritten books has been my desire to write. I wrote a piece on it once, an article, I think, which said that, Americans pay a lot of attention to their own end time prophecies, but getting into that whole theater, they have totally neglected this. And so as far as recruitment is concerned, I'm totally agreeing with you that failure in Afghanistan is going to be a big boon for both the TTP, the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, and the Pakistani groups are going to start saying, right, now is the time to start recruiting and fighting in that famous Ghazwa-E-Hind. Let's get ready for that. And the Arab groups are going to say, salvation is coming by joining up with the folks who are fighting in Khorasan. And both those fronts are going to be a source of a lot of problems.
Today, we touch on a slightly touchy issue. Many of my friends, I do have friends, ask me sometimes, what is this issue with Pakistan and Indian Muslims having such arrogant view about themselves, a sort of self-righteous air of, goodness that they carry around in India? 700-800 years of occupation and rule, was it not enough? And then I have to explain to them that there is a fundamental teaching within Islam, which was not there in the Quran, by the way, and there is no evidence that it is true, but there is plenty of evidence that almost every Indo-Pakistani, Bangladeshi Muslim believes in it. What is it? This is a philosophy, a theology, a doctrine. Doctrine would be the right word. That says that the ultimate goal of a Muslim is to work towards the end of human civilization. I'm not kidding. And that means Roz-e-Qayamat, the end of times. And Roz-e-Qayamat, which we all Muslims desire that it would happen, because we believe that life on earth is like living in a transit lounge. It's like we come here with a connecting flight, and the destination that we ultimately have to go to is paradise, which as Muslims we will get, after paying due penance for the sins that we committed. But all the non-Muslims will be out of there. So what do we have to do? What is our goal? Our goal is something called Ghazwa-E-Hind. Ghazwa means a war in which the Prophet Muhammad himself took part. Now, the Prophet, of course, died a long time ago, but there is a hadith, a saying of the Prophet, in which Abu Huraira, one of his companions, quotes him as saying that the end of time will not come till a detachment of Muslims will gather in Jerusalem and under the command of the final coming of the Mahdi to earth will attack Europe and convert all Christians to Islam, and that will be phase one, the main segment of the war. The hadith refers to Europe as Rome, which ultimately means Christianity. However, there is another segment of the Muslim population that will attack India. As specific as that, Hind, and that's why it's called Ghazwa-E-Hind. And the doctrine is that after the main thrust of Muslims converting all of Europe to Islam, there will be one place in which people will still be worshipping idols, as in statues of Ganesh or, all the different gods and goddesses like Kali and Durga that are part and parcel of Indian life. They will have to be destroyed. Every Hindu will have to be converted to Islam. And until that is done, the end of times, which we call Roz-e-Qiyamah, the day of Qiyamah, which is the end of human existence on earth, will not come. Now, most of you who are non-Muslims find that a bit odd to believe that we Muslims would pray for the end of time, but that's reality. Now, similarly, people who are Hindus believe that they will come back. They believe in transformation, in various ways that life continues endlessly. That's a different faith. But we don't. We believe that, we as Muslims believe that this elimination of all idol worship, primarily because it is Hinduism and Buddhism, less so Buddhism, Hinduism has to be erased. Muslims have to either convert every Indian to Islam, establish the caliphate, and then will come the end of times, and we will all depart from the transit lounge to paradise. Now, you may not believe that, but that's the belief of every serious religious Muslim. Many Muslims just scoff at this. I can assure you, most Muslims in India have no clue about this, but the leaders do, the Imams do, the Maulanas do, and the Ghazwa-E-Hind, the Jamaat-e-Islami, the Deobandi, the Barelvi, all these madrasas that provide the leadership. They do. I'm sure Dilip Kumar and Javed Akhtar don't believe this as an example, but others do. And as long as they do, they will continue to hold hostile views towards the majority population of the Indian subcontinent. And that, my friends, is why confronting the doctrine of Ghazwa-E-Hind is essential. Please, no one should say, forget about it. This is just a thought or provocation by Mr. Tariq Fatah, and that's what he does. No, this is reality, and you should listen to it from people who are clerics of high standard, who speak about this both in English and in Hindi. We have a few excerpts over here.
बात हम बता दें, हमें ज्यादा कॉम्प्लेक्स बातें नहीं समझ में आती कैसे होगा। हमें पता है कि मेरे आका सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया कि आखिरी दौर में खिलाफत अल-मिराज नबुव्वत कायम हो जाएगी। कैसे होगी मेरा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। मेरे आका ने फरमाया होगी। उन्होंने फरमाया ग़ज़वा-ए-हिंद होगा। मुसलमान हिंदुस्तान के बादशाहों को जंजीरों में जकड़ कर लाएंगे। कैसे होगा? ये अल्लाह दिखा देगा।
But after that, you better wake up and understand what's going on, because this is a war of thought, ideology, and thinking. This is not about missiles, rockets, or jets. No, this is a war of ideas in which sane people have to win. And those driven by madness and doctrine should surrender. That should be our goal. Until next time, Khuda Hafiz, Fi Amanillah, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hind.
आपका आज एक ट्वीट मैंने देखा अभी आने से पहले कि ग़ज़वा-ए-हिंद का सपना देखने वाले तालिबानी सोच के मजहबी उन्मादी की गांठ ने कि वो भारत में शरिया नहीं चलेगा, संविधान चलेगा। ये आज ट्वीट करने का मतलब और इसका
देखिए मतलब नहीं है ये, इसका मतलब है जो लोग सपना देख रहे हैं ग़ज़वा-ए-हिंद का, मैं बहुत स्पष्टता के साथ कह सकता हूं, ये नया भारत है। ये दुनिया के सबसे लोकप्रिय नेता श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व का भारत है। इस नए भारत में विकास सबका, लेकिन तुष्टीकरण किसी का नहीं। सबका साथ, सबके विकास की भावना के साथ सरकार कार्य कर रही है। सबका विश्वास और सबके प्रयास को लेकर के सरकार चल रही है। ये नया भारत संविधान के अनुरूप चलेगा, शरीयत के अनुरूप नहीं। और मैं इस बात को भी स्पष्टता के साथ कह सकता हूँ, गज़वा-ए-हिंद का सपना कयामत के दिन तक भी साकार नहीं होगा।
हमने देखा है हिजाब को लेकर कंट्रोवर्सी चल रही है, उस पर आपका कोई व्यू है कि हिजाब?
देखिए, मेरा तो बहुत स्पष्ट मानना है, भारत की व्यवस्था संविधान के अनुरूप चलनी चाहिए। हमारी व्यक्तिगत आस्था, हमारे व्यक्तिगत स्वयं के अधिकार या हमारी स्वयं की पसंद नापसंद हम देश के ऊपर लागू नहीं कर सकते, संस्थाओं के ऊपर लागू नहीं कर सकते। ये नहीं लागू कर सकते हैं। क्या मैं उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर सभी कर्मचारियों को या सभी लोगों को ये बोल सकता हूं कि आप भी भगवा धारण करें? ये उनका विषय है, जो उनको धारण करना करें, लेकिन ड्रेस कोड स्कूलों में लागू होना चाहिए। स्कूल का विषय है, स्कूल के अनुशासन का विषय है। आर्मी में कोई ये कहेगा कि हम लोग जो है अपने अनुसार चलेंगे, फोर्स में कोई इस प्रकार की बात करेगा? कहां अनुशासन रह पाएगा? व्यक्तिगत आस्था आपकी अपनी जगह होगी, लेकिन जब संस्थाओं की बात होगी तो संस्था के नियम कानून को हमें मानना होगा। देश की व्यवस्था होगी, देश के संविधान को मानना होगा।
This is insane. So this is happening behind our backs. They have a mission to make Sharia laws all across India. While we are still sleeping, jihadis are planning to dominate India, no matter how tedious the task may be for them. Many are planning this. Whatever people say about coexisting in India, it's just ludicrous. It cannot be when these jihadis have only one goal in mind, to dominate and control India. You cannot coexist and then have also the plan to dominate. That is the opposite of coexisting. Even if you have some good people, they will succumb to the pressures of the jihadis because they have the same belief systems. You either coexist or you dominate, but both cannot happen. Hindus have the intention to unite as a people, as a country, under one flag, but jihadis have a completely different goal entirely. That is what makes them dangerous for Hindus. We cannot continue to play dumb to what is really happening, because if we do, we will lose our very identity as a human race. We cannot be on a planet where we all believe in the same things and think in the same way. That opens us up to forever being controlled under some regime. Is that really in the best interest of humanity? And if it is, there will always be groups in the same belief system that will want to break free. If they do, they will be threatened or killed. So ask yourself, is this the kind of world we really want to live in? And if so, it's a prison and not in fact living. Okay guys, see you in the next video. Ram Ram.